Welcome back to Bloodstained Backstories, the true crime podcast where we uncover the chilling stories hidden in plain sight. I'm your host, Jace.
And I'm your host, Summer.
In this episode, we delve into the haunting case of George Lewis, a trusted firefighter and neighborhood watch captain in Gulfport, Florida. Beneath his facade of community service lay a dark secret that would shock everyone who knew him. Join us as we unravel the tragic murder of Karen Gregory, a talented artist whose life was brutally cut short in 1984. Through twists, turns, and a trail of evidence that took years to piece together, we explore how a man meant to protect his community became its greatest threat. Stay tuned for a story of betrayal, justice, and the shadows that linger in the most unexpected places.
George Lewis lived in Gulfport, Florida. He was a firefighter and a neighborhood crime watch volunteer. He was a person with no criminal history. The crime was committed in a house catty-corner to his own.
The victim was a 36-year-old female who had just moved into her boyfriend's house. Her boyfriend was out of town at a conference. It was her first night and only night staying alone in her boyfriend's house.
A neighborhood woman was called by Gregory's boyfriend to check on her, as he hadn't heard from her. He wanted to make sure she was all right. The neighborhood went to the house and knocked on the door. She then peeked into the window and saw Gregory lying on the floor in what looked like a pool of blood. She immediately called 911 and waited for the police to arrive.
The police found broken glass suggesting that there was a struggle of some sort. There was a pool of blood around Gregory's head, and she had stab wounds around her neck. Gregory was only partially dressed, which led detectives to suspect that she had been sexually assaulted. There were also bloody footprints on the floor, but no blood on the bottom of Gregory's feet. This led police to believe the footprints were those of her killer.
Neighbors were interviewed. Many reported having heard screams on the night Gregory was believed to have been killed. None had called the police because they could not identify where the screams had come from.
Investigators interviewed Lewis. When he told the investigators that he had been working on his vehicle in his garage that night and he was playing the radio. He did hear a faint scream, but upon hearing the scream, he stated he had gone out to the street to look up and down but didn't see anything. Then he added that only strange thing he did see was a man driving up to Gregory's boyfriend's house, walking up to the door, and then walking to the car parked out front, leaving a note on the car, and then he left.
Investigators knew exactly what Lewis was referring to. During their investigation, they found a note on a car from someone named Peter, who stated that he had stopped by and had not seen anyone.
Authorities tracked down Peter, who was Gregory's friend. He agreed to give police his fingerprints and footprints, and they allowed him to leave. But they were still very suspicious of Peter.
The results of Gregory's autopsy showed that she had been stabbed dozens of times and her throat had been slit. She had been tortured and raped and was killed about a day and a half before anyone had found her.
Gregory's boyfriend returned home from his conference and met with police. He voiced his suspicions about Peter, who he said was trying to get close to Gregory. David, the boyfriend, maintained his innocence, and there was not enough evidence linking either man to the crime.
Approximately 5 months after the murder, police got a new clue. Someone who lived a few blocks away said she heard the screams that night, but that it was a long, sustained scream. This was totally different from what they had heard from Lewis. Lewis, if you remember, stated he heard a faint scream. So police brought Lewis in again for questioning. He still maintained that he had only heard a faint scream, but this time he added a new detail. Now Lewis was claiming that he had seen a tall man with red hair standing near a tree in the front of the house Gregory's boyfriend owned. He was unable to explain why he had not stated that before.
Police investigated the tip. They showed pictures of alleged suspect prowlers in the neighborhood, and he was not able to identify any of them as the person he saw that night.
Then the case was broken wide open. Investigators were still talking to women of the community about an alleged prowler. One woman described to them of her being watched by a man, but the man ran away as she got closer to the window. She identified the man as Lewis. Police were shocked as they did not expect that at all.
Police brought Lewis in for questioning again. He did admit to hanging around the neighbor's window, but he claimed he was doing his duties as neighborhood watch. He took a polygraph test, being questioned about the peeping accusations and Gregory's murder. And guess what? He failed the polygraph.
Once again, Lewis changed his story. He was now stating that a man he saw threatened him, and that made Lewis nervous, and he failed the test again. Authorities then collected Lewis's footprints and fingerprints.
Police researched Lewis's past, and they were very surprised when they received information that he allegedly abused his previous wife and was involved in a swingers club. Lewis's friends also spoke to authorities and told them that Lewis had shown sexual interest in Gregory before she moved in with her boyfriend. She had even made a comment about wanting to have an orgy with her.
Are you ready for this? When police brought Lewis in again for questioning, he had a new story. Imagine that. This time he stated he went up to the window and saw her lying on the floor and went inside to help her. He saw her throat was cut, which is a detail only the killer would know, so police did not buy his story.
The FBI completed its analysis of the bloody footprint left at the crime scene, and it matched Lewis's footprint. Upon hearing his footprint matched the bloody footprint left inside the house, Lewis's story changed again. This time he admitted that he entered the house and came up to the body. He got sick, went to the bathroom, and vomited. He then ran like a scared rabbit. He also stated he tried to be helpful, but thought it best not to mention that he walked away from the murder scene. Now, if this story is true, why didn't he call for help? Why didn't he call 911? And why would his story change so many times?
Lewis had legitimate reason to fear that reporting the crime would lead to a murder being pinned on him. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time and stepped in the victim's blood. Lewis was clearly in an incriminating situation. His failure to report the murder crime cannot be used as evidence as guilt.
The police believe that Lewis waited until David was out of town and attacked Gregory. Lewis was arrested for rape and murder in March of 1986. He was found guilty and sentenced to life without parole. George Lewis died in prison in 2015 at the age of 52.
Thanks for tuning into Bloodstained Backstories. Don't forget to follow us on social media to stay updated, share your thoughts, and connect with fellow crime enthusiasts. You can watch us anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your go-to platform. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Join us next week as we uncover another chilling case. Until then, stay safe and stay curious.